Hey guys, Matt here, and welcome to Let's Play Max Payne for the computer. Now, I picked this game up during the Steam summer sales this year just by sheer chance because I remember the movie coming out a while back, and I don't know, it's just this game always intrigued me, and once I played it, I knew I needed to do a playthrough of it. So let's get started. I'm going to do the easiest difficulty because I don't want to look too bad. And I'm going to try my best to stay quiet during the majority of the cutscenes. So you guys, the guys out there that don't know what this game is about, knows what's going on. So let's play Max Payne.
Standby 1010, investigator reported
And we got some time before some actual story starts, but yeah, once I got this game, an interesting thing was the sound wasn't working, so I needed to look up fix on how to get the sound to work, and once I got the sound working, I started playing and couldn't stop. And since I got this game, I've actually played through it and beaten Max Payne 2 and 3 as well, and all of which are fantastic games. I highly recommend them to any fan of the action genre. This one's probably my favorite, but we'll talk about that later. We're starting to get some story now. I'll shut up.
10-5, please repeat. 10-5. All units, emergency. Officer in danger. Acer Plaza, repeat. Acer Plaza, all units.
They were all dead. The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger, and then it was over. To make any kind of sense of it, I need to go back 3 years. Back to the night the pain started.
Yeah, majority of this part is going to be a lot of exposition.
I was still on the force back then. NYPD, Manhattan, Midtown North Precinct, Hell's Kitchen.
So when are you coming to work for me, Detective Payne?
You'd make me work undercover in some hellhole. Sorry, Alex. Michelle and the baby come first. See? My last smoke. It's bad for the baby.
That's you, Max. A regular Boy Scout.
See, Alex?
Still on for poker Thursday night, right?
Like taking candy from a baby. Life was good. The sun setting on a sweet summer's day. The smell of freshly mowed lawns. The sounds of children playing. A house across the river on the Jersey side. Beautiful wife and a baby girl. The American dream come true. Honey, I'm home. But dreams have a nasty habit of going bad when you're not looking. The sun went down with practiced bravado. Twilight crawled across the sky, laden with foreboding. Michelle, honey, anybody home? I didn't like the way the show started. They'd give me the best seat in the house, front row center.
Look at those early 2000 PC
What the hell?
graphics.
Something ugly had been tattooed on the wall, a map of things to come. It was a poison syringe, a magic tag full of diabolical meanings.
So the guy doing the likeness of Max Payne is actually the guy who wrote it. Sam Lake of Remedy Games, and the
Listen,
facial
someone's broken into
expressions
my house.
on
Call
the Max
911.
Payne model
Is
have
this
been
the
the
Payne
subject of
residence?
joke for
Yes, someone's
pretty
broken
much
into my
since
house.
this game
They're still
came
here.
out.
You have to...
Quite honestly,
afraid I
they're
cannot
hilarious.
Who is this? Hello?
So yes, I'm quite excited to be doing this playthrough. I mean, I'm a big fan of this game, even only playing it for a couple months.
Michelle!
Trouble in Paradise.
Michelle!
This game doesn't mess around. It immediately gets you enwrapped in the story.
No, please, God, no.
You don't see something like that in too many video games.
No.
This is how it all
please,
starts.
Michelle. Oh, baby.
God, I love the music in this game. All three games have terrific music. I think the third one's got my favorite soundtrack, though.
That was 3 years ago. Everything ripped apart in a New York minute. The killer junkies had been high on a previously unknown designer drug, Valkyr, V. After the funeral, I told Alex I'd be transferring to the DEA. It took us 3 long years to get a break in the Valkyr case. Then, finally, 2 months ago, a dime dropper tipped us off that Jack Lupino, a mob boss in the Punchinello crime family, was trafficking. I went undercover, infiltrated the worst mafia family in New York.
It just occurred to me I have not been timing how long this part has been. This one might not have a proper outro.
I came in from the cold and the dark. Outside the city was a cruel monster. I've been slowly working my way from the small time to the big fish, trying to get to the source of the drug. Alex and BB were my only contacts in the DEA, the only ones in this decrepit city who knew I was down here.
BB here. Something urgent has come up with Jack Lupino. You need to meet with Alex immediately at the Roscoe Street station.
I hadn't had a face-to-face with Alex since I'd gone undercover. Outside, the mercury was falling fast. It was colder than the devil's heart, raining ice pitchforks as if the heavens were ready to fall. Everyone was running for shelter like there was no tomorrow. It didn't get any better when I got to the subway. The feeling hit me like a point-blank shot straight in the face. Something was not right about this. My Beretta stirred nervously under my coat, but the train doors had already shut behind me, and I was in for the ride. Next stop, Roscoe Street Station, and Alex.
Alright, getting back in the game here. And
The
interestingly
station was
enough,
drenched in gloom. Alex was a ghost, nowhere to be seen. I'd have to look for him.
Interestingly enough, Max Payne 1 and 2 both gave me grief on my computer. This one didn't have any sound, and I actually bought a physical copy of Max Payne 2 from eBay, and it doesn't
Death was
run.
in the air at
I
Roscoe
can
Street.
install it,
I'd have to find Alex fast.
but it won't launch or anything. So I had to download a torrent of it, and it works perfectly fine. So I have no idea what the deal is with that. Actually, Max Payne 3 works the best, or worked the best. My computer isn't designed for
pills
hardcore
would ease the
gaming,
pain.
so it has some pretty bad FPS issues sometimes. Alright, now we get to show the iconic Max Payne here. One of the first games, actually the first game to use bullet time and the trademark shoot dodge. A lot of people think the bullet time was inspired by The Matrix, but the funny thing is, this game was in development much before The Matrix was a movie.
Yeah. What the hell?
I've been playing a lot of Max Payne 3 recently, and this one, the gameplay for both games are very similar, but they've added some new things to Max Payne 3. And this one just feels, the way it feels controls a lot differently, so you gotta get back into the swing of things. This one's probably my favorite, but if I could combine the story of this game with the gameplay from the third game, this would just be a complete masterpiece. It would be literally perfect.
The security panel let out a mocking cackle. I'd need the right code.
Yeah,
Oh, I better save. Don't want to be too embarrassing on my first playthrough of a video game. I mean, you can tell I'm not a professional. I didn't set up a timer. I'm already on the verge of death on the first level on the easiest difficulty.
While looking for Alex, I had ended up in the middle of a big-time crime operation.
Cool thing about this game is, I mean, it's not anything special by today's standards, but because the engine of the game is custom, you know, they could have it so the bodies don't disappear and the shell casings and magazines stay in place. And like I said, it's nothing spectacular by today's standards, but back then it must have been like, this game must have been so cool. I mean, graphically and gameplay wise, I mean, it's still, the gameplay still holds up pretty good today. See, now we're using bullet time. I mean, a lot of people like the use of the cover system in Max Payne 3, but it's a very modern video game gameplay feature, and this has a very classic feel to it while still being, you know, it's still a pretty big challenge, and I don't know, it's fun to play too.
You saved me, man.
What's going on here?
A massacre. These armed thugs just appeared from nowhere. We need to get help. I can make the call from the control room 1 floor up. Can you take me there?
Sure, sounds good. Follow me.
I realize I'm not doing a whole lot of talking. I always run out of things to say.
Home free. This way.
Hey, yeah.
It was inevitable. Everything that Max comes in contact with seems to die. A lot of stuff that's just plain interactable in this game. I don't think interactable is a word, but I think you all know what I'm getting at. You may think I'm doing pretty bad now, but just wait till it gets to be later on in the game. Then you'll see. Then you'll see my true colors come out. I mean, I'm okay at this game. I'm pretty good at it. I've played through it like 1.5 times, but there's still going to be a lot of times where I'm just flat out dying and dying and dying.
The train lit up like a Christmas tree. The power was back on.
James McGaffrey does the voice work of Max, and in this game he's just so monotone about everything. It's hilarious. The other games he gets a lot better and shows more emotion with stuff, but this one it's pretty laughably bad. And James McGaffrey is actually the only trademark of Max to make it through all 3 games. I mean, he doesn't even look the same in all 3 games. In this game, he's modeled by Sam Lake. In the second game, he's modeled by, I forget his name, I think it's Timothy Gibb or something. And then in the third game, James McGaffrey does the likeness for him. So, the voice of Max Payne remains the same throughout all 3 games, but not the way he looks.
So much
Especially
for being
since
subtle.
everyone knows, like, in the third game he grows a beard and is bald, and it takes place in Brazil, like totally distancing itself from everything the first 2 games set up. And I think through this next door is the start of the